about it, and I know I look like death, and that's because I feel like death, and this is also part of the post. So basically, I almost died last year from severe sepsis. And the thing is, I ignored all my symptoms, and I told myself that I was being dramatic for 2 weeks almost, before I almost died. So I want to tell you what my symptoms were, and why I got severe sepsis, and the things that I just ignored, because I'm a woman, and I also have tons of chronic illnesses, and I just didn't want to go to the hospital. I told myself they were going to laugh at me, they were going to gaslight me, they were going to tell me I'm stupid. And it almost cost me my life. So basically, I had 4 weeks prior to becoming severely septic, I had oral surgery. And the oral surgery went totally fine. They put me on antibiotics for 3 weeks because the oral surgery was so intense. They removed tissue from the roof of my mouth. So it was a big surgery. So anyway, on antibiotics for 3 weeks, I get off antibiotics and I start having really, really bad diarrhea. Okay? And I also start getting nauseous. I couldn't really eat or else it would just go straight through me. And the thing about this is it had a very particular smell, but I had never smelled this kind of smell before, so I didn't really know what it was. I was just like, that's really odd. I've never smelled that before. So anyway, I keep going to the bathroom constantly, all day, every day, and I'm getting progressively more weak as the days go on, and I work in EMS, okay, so I have to go to work on top of this. So I go to work, and I'm just like, man, I think I got the flu from one of my patients. I'm just so lethargic, so I drink energy drinks to try and stay awake. I told everyone, hey, I might be infected, so I wore a mask, I wore gloves. I didn't want to get anybody else infected with the flu, is what I thought. So after a week of having these diarrhea episodes, this nausea, this weakness, we go into the next week, and it gets way worse from here. I start feeling like death. I'm literally feeling so god-awful sick, but I still have work, and I didn't want to call off, because I'm just being dramatic. Everybody works through the flu in healthcare. Everybody works through their sicknesses. I'm going to do the same. And so I let it go. And day after day, my eyes start burning. I become so weak, it's hard to get out of bed. I shake when I stand up. Mind you, I have to lift patients off the floor, so I would lift a patient, and I would just feel like collapsing afterwards. I started getting a low-grade fever, and this was I think 3 days before I became severely septic, and I was like, oh great, it's getting worse. I should probably go see urgent care or something. But again, I told myself, no, we're just going to hold out, see how it goes. So I would take Tylenol to kill my fever. I'd feel a little bit better, but nothing seemed to be working. Diarrhea was still there, everything like that. So, the day that I ended up going to the ER, because I literally thought I was going to die that day, I basically was at work all night. I was from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., and luckily I didn't have a lot of calls, but the thing that really tipped me off is that my heart rate reached 210 beats per minute that night. 210 beats per minute. And I knew in the back of my head I had sepsis, but I kept telling myself, I can't just leave in the middle of the night, who's going to take my place? So I kept working through it, but I did tell my partner, he's like, you don't look good. And I'm like, I fucking feel like I'm dying. And he's like, oh shit. And I'm like, yeah, but we're just going to get through it. So I go to a patient's house, and I lift this patient off the ground, and this is when my heart rate reached 210 beats per minute. I stood up after lifting them, and everything was spinning, and I was having a hard time breathing normally, and I just felt like I wasn't gonna make it, so I told my partner, when we're done, I need to go rush myself to the hospital. So I take myself to the hospital, and they're like, oh shit, my blood pressure tanked, my heart rate's through the roof, I have a super high fever even though I took Tylenol, I'm shitting my brains out, I am not with it at all, and I'm hallucinating. So they're like, this is really bad. They take labs, my labs come back critical. They tell me to call my family because they're like, hey, you need to call your family, we don't know how you're going to do through the night. And I was like, are you saying that I'm dying? And they said, we can't say yes or no to that, but we want to have your family here just, to comfort you and to be with you because this, you're really, really sick and you're going to be admitted for a while. So I was in the hospital for quite some time. They never figured out in the hospital what caused my severe sepsis until after I got out of the hospital. I was doing good for a week and I got sick again. Same thing, diarrhea, weakness, all this. My family doctor finally says, did they ever test you for C-diff? And I said, no. And she tested me and I had it. So I went on antibiotics for that, and it cured my C-diff up until 4 days ago, which is what I think I'm dealing with now. Same shit, literally. I go to the bathroom literally almost 40 times a day. You know that actually sounds impossible, but it's totally possible when you have C. diff. The smell is the same smell as before. I am weak as hell. I'm pale. I'm fragile. I don't feel good. And here I am again telling myself I'm being dramatic, and I'm ignoring my symptoms once again. Do not be like me and become severely septic. And me just talking about this makes me realize even more I need to go get checked out before things get worse. I'm severely immunocompromised. I've had C. diff before. Once you have it, you're very prone to reoccurrence, even without the uses of antibiotics recently. The last time I took it was 2 months ago, which can definitely cause C. diff even 2 months later. So the thing is, I don't want anyone to ever deal with this. It was the most scary time of my life. It was a living hell. And right now, it's a living hell. And don't ignore your symptoms. Don't care if the doctors say, oh, you're being dramatic. Oh, you're a woman. You're too young to have problems. Like, if I didn't go, I would have been dead. If you don't go and you have these symptoms, you could die. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Advocate for yourself. If the doctor doesn't listen, get a different doctor. If that doctor doesn't listen, go to the top. Keep going and pushing for yourself. My doctors really did listen because I was almost dead, okay? But some people are too scared because they feel like they're going to be gaslit in the medical field, and I completely understand that, and I work in the medical field, and I see it all the time, and I fucking hate that shit so much. So I'm so sorry if you feel this way, but you know your body, they do not. Get checked, and I'll let you guys know how I'm doing in the near future here. But